Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. Now, just before the break, we were in Bekkersdal, and that's where we go to now. Our reporter, Nozintombi Miya, is standing by. Nozintombi, hello to you again. I know you've been on the ground throughout the day, assessing what the mood is like there in that township. What can you tell us?
Thank you, Ayanda. Despite our little technological fault, we are back on air with you. We have spent the day in Bekkersdal today. We've spoken to some of the residents who've told us some of the complaints that they have around issues of service delivery, or rather a lack of service delivery. Leading up to the elections, Bekkersdal is going to be one of the municipalities that are hotly contested by all the political parties, especially considering that it has been a community that has gone on the rampage for quite some time, for the majority of the year in 2013. Now, with me, I have a community leader. They are having a community forum later this evening where they're going to be discussing issues around feedback from some of the national departments that they've spoken to. His name is Mr. Wanda. Mr. Wanda, can you tell me what are some of the biggest concerns that you have here in this area? When we spoke earlier, one of the key issues had been around the issue of infrastructure development.
Yes, thank you. I just want to say that because we have been, as you have alluded to the fact that it's been quite some time now, we have had engagements with a variety of government departments. And one of the issues that we have raised as a community is that maladministration and corruption is taking place within the parameters of our local municipality. We have engaged with the Ministry of COCTA up till to the level where the DGs and the HODs reach a consensus with ourselves as a community residents association that in fact for them to make sure that they are going to investigate the allegations, we need to prove. And we had a meeting on the 12th of March where consensus was reached for us to submit evidence by the 19th, and we managed to submit such evidence. That is evidence moving forward towards our allegations, which are no longer now regarded as allegations until the findings of the Auditor General. The submissions of the Auditor General will then go into the MEC as a political head to check on that particular report. However, the Auditor General will be in a position to submit in terms of the criminalization of the findings, if any, to the necessary Section 9 institutions like your Hawks, SIU, and the Public Protector. So that is where we are at this moment, as facilitated.
Yes. One of the issues that you're hoping to get out of the process is to declare the municipality under administration. How confident are you that National will declare the Bekkersdal municipality under administration?
Yes, it is correct. Remember that the evidence has been submitted. So we're saying because of the evidence that has been submitted, we are cocksure as a community that that evidence would lead the findings of the Auditor General towards the political heads to take a decision pertinent to such.
We're heading up towards the elections. There have been a lot of different political parties that have come into the Bekkersdal area to electioneer, but that hasn't always gone smoothly. Are political parties going to be able to electioneer in this area?
Yes, remember politicians are politicians. In our first phase of the engagement with political parties, we have had an engagement with the Alliance of Gauteng, which is the ANC, SABC, and COSATU. We continuously have that particular engagement with themselves. And all other political parties who have pledged solidarity pertinent to our call of dealing with corruption and the maladministration, to an extent, nepotism. So all those political parties, the community has decided, like we are now in a meeting making a follow-up in that regard, the community has decided that because of in 20 years of democracy, we have fought for a one-man, one-vote. We can allow all political parties to be in a position to campaign and practice their democratic right at the elections this year.
But come the 7th of May, are you going to allow residents to vote?
Like I've said, remember our residents is not that they do not understand the manner in which democracy operates so far. They know that it's a democratic right for them to go and cast their vote for a political party of their choice. So that is a process that has been allowed in the township, and people will exercise that on the 7th of May.
Tonight, you're going to be having a community meeting. What are some of the talking points that you'll be discussing?
Part of it will be the report back from the official letter from the MEC of Gauteng in terms of local government. That letter is a letter with the contents that The process that I've already unpacked upon of the Auditor General has already unfolded, and therefore we're going to give them that formal report of the correspondence from the MEC that in fact the evidence has been submitted pertinent to the allegations.
And leading up to the elections, are we going to be seeing any more service delivery protests, especially considering that there are processes that are still ongoing to try and resolve the deeper issues in the area?
You should be in a position to can remember that in any struggle, there are phases and engagements that are taking place. So what one has now unpacked on the basis of the intervention by government, which we have requested as a community, we are at this level that we are awaiting the findings. Therefore, it's another phase of the struggle, and we want to give it space while we're practicing our democratic right of going to the elections, that let us get the necessary findings of that report, and the community will then have a new mandate pertinent to the outcomes thereof.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wanda Malloy. Ayanda, that was one of the community leaders here in Bekkersdal, but only time will tell come the 7th of May whether or not the community of Bekkersdal will be up in arms yet again over lack of services, or whether we'll see peaceful voting in this particular municipality. Back to you, Ayanda.
Oh, thank you so much, Nozintombi. Indeed, only time will tell. Well, thank you so much to you and your guest. That was our reporter, Nozintombi Miya, reporting live from the often troubled township of Bekkersdal on Johannesburg's east or west strand, I should say. Now, let's return to the wrap of today's election-related news stories. Let me remind you, the ANC and the DA taking their campaign battle to the South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg. The bone of contention, of course, they're at loggerheads about an SMS the opposition party sent to its supporters after the Public Protector's Nkandla report was released.
The ANC alleges it contained false information. It wants the court to order the DA to comply with the Electoral Act and not publish the SMS. The DA's SMS to over 1 million Gauteng voters said the Nkandla report showed how President Jacob Zuma had stolen public money to build his 246 million rand house. The party wants Zuma to repay money spent on non-security upgrades. The ANC says the DA is misleading the public and is violating the Electoral Act. At the R in the Northern Cape, the ANC national chairperson, Baleka Mbete, was met with mixed feelings at Nonzwakazi. Some accused the ANC of caring only for their votes and not improving their lives, but others said they were happy to meet Mbete. She met with residents who complained about unemployment, lack of sanitation and insufficient government services. Residents were told never to give up on the party despite their unhappiness.
Voters have a right to raise whatever issues they have, whatever challenges they continue to express or experience. It's fine, and in fact we welcome that, because it's also important for us as the ANC to know where we should improve, what it is we should still revisit, how we are addressing the issues of the people. But also this is an opportunity just to make people feel that we care.
Traffic came to a standstill in the Durban CBD today as thousands of ANC supporters accompanied the party's motorcade through the city. The party then unveiled a giant clock to remind members of the election date.
What we felt we need to do as the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal is to look for a most vibrant way to remind all the people in our province that on the 7th of May, it is an all-important day.
In Oudtshoorn, Nkandla dominated a heated debate between the DA and ANC at the Little Karoo National Arts Festival. There were tense exchanges between the ANC Western Cape leader Marius Fransman and his DA counterpart Ivan Meyer. Other contentious issues covered included the issue of school closures in the province and who should govern Oudtshoorn. The two parties are currently in a battle for control of the council, following a 2013 by-election which the DA won. More political heavyweights are due to visit the region over the weekend, including the DA leader Helen Zille and Agang leader Mampele Rampele. At the village of Vaalbank in Limpopo, The leader of the African People's Congress, Themba Godi, held a door-to-door campaign to attract voters from rural communities. For residents, water, electricity and houses are still a mere dream in this impoverished community.
The APC has prioritized neglected rural areas as our focal points. And that is why we've come to these neglected and underdeveloped areas to give these people hope and to say that it is in their hands to bring about change that can improve their lives.
By-elections are being held in 5 provinces today. Just over 58,000 registered voters will be able to vote in the 9 wards in 35 voting districts. 3 by-elections are taking place in the Eastern Cape, and according to reports, voting has been slow. IEC officials expect the tempo to increase as people return home from work. In the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro in Port Elizabeth, wards 1 and 56 are up for grabs. The ANC UDM-DA and an independent candidate are contesting Ward 1. Ward 56 is being contested by the ANC, UDM and COPE. And in East London, Ward 1 of the Buffalo City Metro is being contested by the ANC and the DA.
Well, the appalling condition of roads in some parts of our country is likely to be an important election issue as well. I mean, it's a major source of frustration for many motorists. Northwest is notorious for the poor state of its roads. Well, let's get the latest now as we cross to our reporter Athlande Mathe, who is standing by in Lichtenburg in the Northwest. Hello to you and welcome. Athlande, what can you tell us about what people's frustrations are in that part of the country?
Well, thank you very much, Ayanda. It's a few weeks before elections, and it's very unfortunate that voters will have to use the very same dilapidated roads to go and cast their votes. Now, speaking to some of the SABC employees, residents of the Northwest Province, there is a general feeling of unhappiness that the state of roads in the province is very appalling. And over the years, the provincial government has committed to prioritize roads, and although there has been efforts to improve roads, it is yet to reach acceptable conditions. Many people in the Northwest still see or regard the Northwest Province as a pothole-ridden province and a capital of potholes in the country. Now, for more on that, I'm joined by the head of department, Sam Tobakale, who's going to shed more light on the status of roads in the province. Good evening, Mr. Tobakale. Can you just give us a sense of how roads are looking, the general impression of the status of roads in the province?
Well, it is true that we are facing a backlog to the tune of 5 billion in terms of addressing the conditions of roads in Northwest. But the situation is changing for the better because we discussed with communities in the province. We prioritized the roads per districts, and we're implementing that program.
Mr. Tobakale, there's a general belief in the Northwest Province that the bad state of roads is as a result of poor workmanship. How do you respond to that?
All the roads that we are doing that are under construction have a resident engineer whose primary role is to ensure that we get value for money in terms of what we pay for. The contractors that are not meeting our standards, that are not meeting their contractual obligations, what we normally do is to basically terminate them because we cannot compromise quality. Infrastructure is a very expensive program to roll out.
Talking about potholes, what are we doing about this matter? How much are we talking about that is budgeted for this financial year in terms of potholes? Because a lot of people in the Northwest Province, complain about potholes. They actually attribute the accidents that happen on our roads due to, the poor state of roads and, the potholes.
In this financial year, we are going to be rolling out new 14 projects. But currently, as we are speaking, there are projects that are 27 that are rolling, that are being constructed, which straddle financial years. We have completed 14 projects in the previous financial year, 2013-2014 financial year. These projects are part of a program that firstly deals with upgrades, where we upgrade a road from gravel to tar. There's also projects that deal with major road maintenance, and there are projects that deal with routine road maintenance. Now, we have appointed term contractors, which we can be able to put on a road on a 24-hour basis to address specifically issues of potholes, damages that are caused by floods, but also we also have term contractors that are able to do, major road maintenance. We are able to spend our budget now. If you look at our performance in just this financial year that has just ended, we've spent 100% of the budget. And already, as I'm saying, we have 27 projects that are on site that are under construction, apart from the 14 that I spoke about that will be rolling in the new financial year. We have completed our plans for the MTF period, which is the coming 3 years, in terms of the roads that we are going to address. And those roads are priority roads that the communities of Northwest have identified. So we are addressing these issues. The problem is the budget. We do not have enough resources to address all the roads, but the key economic and social services access roads that link townships, villages, human settlements to basic services and work and schools, those roads we are currently addressing, and we have the capacity to do so.
Well, thank you. That was Mr. Sam Tabakhale, the head of Department of Roads in the Northwest Province, shedding more light as to what we can expect regarding the general status of roads in the Northwest Province. Back to you, studio.
Oh, thank you so much, Athlande. If only all the roads in the Northwest and in Gauteng and all the provinces were as pristine as the one behind you, because, of course, potholes are not just an inconvenience, they're also a danger on the roads. Well, thank you so much to our reporter, Athlande Mathe, live from Lichtenburg in the Northwest. All right, now a moment or two ago, if you'll remember on the show, we took you to Bekkersdal just to hear from our reporter Nozintombi, Miya, as to what the status is when it comes to voting and apathy or lack thereof in that particular part of South Africa. But let's now hear for a minute or so what our viewers have to say about the situation in Bekkersdal.
I do believe that the politicians are taking over the matter at Bekkersdal in the wrong way.
They're taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Just because the ANC isn't delivering on their promises, doesn't the DA or the EFF could somehow deliver on the promises. So they're in a way trying to show the people that you must vote so they can have a chance to deliver on the promise.
I don't think people should first protest in order for things to be done in South Africa.
I think it's really unfair, because why would you want to go there now? Why didn't you go there when there was problems and fix them before? But now, because we're close to elections, all of a sudden all the politics want to go there and win their vote from them.
They are using our people as pawns to win their own game. This incident of Bekkersdal, it's a similar incident like Gauteng.
And remember that we do enjoy hearing from you as well. If you'd like to weigh in on that particular discussion or any other one that's related to the elections, do feel free to contact us. And those who have already sent us our SMSs, emails and tweets, we'd like to say a big thank you to you. We'll take a look at them, time permitting, a little bit later on the show. Right now, though, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
To prove that with Outsurance, you always get something out. This time, our street challenge brought us to this Cape Town street. Here, we met 10 existing Outsurance clients who've claimed over 372,000 Rand and received almost 38,000 Rand in out bonuses. Then, of the residents we quoted, 3 found that we could save them a total of more than 13,000 Rand a year if they switched to Outsurance. And 4 got 400 Rand because we couldn't beat their car insurance premium. There you have it. They all got something out. To see what you could get out, SMS out to 31570. Outsurance. You always get something out.
At Pick n Pay, we have an Easter feast for everyone, with treasure hunts and lots of fun, and a whole lot of specials second to none. Share in these treats with savings on 500 grams of Rainbow Chicken Viennas for 23 Rand, 350 grams of Dairy Bell processed cheddar or sweet milk cheese for 24 Rand, and 900 grams of Lancewood cheddar Gouda or white cheddar for 70 Rand. And smart shoppers, there are 1 million lucky vouchers to be found. Remember to swipe your card and check your till slip. Pick n Pay.
The Look Good Feel Better program caters for all cancers with a specific focus on the emotional and social needs and well-being of a woman cancer patient. Our slogan is, hope is beautiful. And it's our dream and our goal that we can just instill this hope into every lady that we have at a workshop so that she can feel beautiful, she looks beautiful, and she can just deal with her disease knowing that she's feminine, she's beautiful inside and outside.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Elections 2014. Time now for the leader of one of the smaller parties contesting this year's elections to appeal to voters to cast their valuable vote for him. Here's a United Congress leader, Mluleke George. He's got 1 minute to convince you.
If we were to be given a chance, we would be prepared to go to IMF to work or to World Bank to borrow money to create jobs, because those jobs will widen the tax base. That's number one. Number two, it will deal with the issue of poverty, which is our biggest challenge. And number four, at some stage, we'll be able to return that money.
All right, let's see now if we have any tweets or perhaps any comment via social media, Facebook, or our emails as well. SMSs have also been coming in, but let's take a look at one or two from social media platforms now. All right, Raynor Lawrence saying these elections are going to be exciting. Hope all will run smoothly and change can happen in our country. I think I share your sentiments on the excitement part. Let's hear one that says the following: politicians are walking over the sewage spillages, but they don't care because they need votes. After the votes, they will disappear. And many people saying that as well, saying don't just give us lip service and empty promises. We want to see your faces prior to, during and after the polls. And this last one says, yeah, the road to Zeerust is full of potholes, yet we pay 75. I'm assuming that's rand or cents. It doesn't quite say what it is, but toll gate. But we're clearly seeing that Lebogang is lamenting the amount that they have to pay, whatever it be, what may be for the fact that they're paying all these fees and they're seeing very little for it. Well, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your comments. Remember, the show is solely dedicated to you to make sure that you are informed when you're casting your ballot, and you do so with all the knowledge and information possible. Thank you so much for having joined us. It's goodbye for now. God bless. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
I choose Clear for my skin. Enriched with glycerine and vitamins E and A, it leaves my skin feeling soft and beautiful.